A whole 2 years since the first movie released, the follow-up sequel FNAF Movie 2 has finally released in theaters. And I think I've already said this, but this is probably gonna be one of my most anticipated movies of the year, mainly because since the first movie, I've become way more of a fan of the FNAF franchise. But yeah, I really wanted this movie to be good, and it is good, but it's also pretty bad. Taking place 1 year after the first film's events, Mike and Abby try to go back to their normal lives and leave the events of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria in the past, but a new set of animatronics come, bring them back to Freddy's once again. Just a note I want to make, this is going to be one out of the 2 reviews I make on this movie, just because that I want to talk about this movie on a professionally critical movie critic standpoint, but I also want to talk about it as a fan. So I think it's better that if I split it up to 2 reviews instead of just having it one big review, because I also can't edit all that. But yeah, I have a lot of negative things to say about this movie, but first let's start with the positives, because I just don't want this review just being me hating on the movie the entire time, because I don't hate the movie. So let's start with the positives. My first and probably biggest positive on this movie has got to be the opening scene, Charlotte and the marionette scene, because I think it's just such a strong way to start off the movie. And this happens in like the first 5 minutes too, by the way. I think it's a really strong start, and it's honestly, for me, it's gotta be the scariest scene in the movie, even though the movie's not necessarily scary at all. This is gotta be the scariest and most thrilling scene of the movie, just because it raises the stakes for the movie, but it also kind of disappoints you, because I don't know how this is the best written scene in the entire movie. Like, I don't know how they do that. Also, another thing I want to add is that, yeah, this movie is scarier than the first one. I will admit that. It's just kind of filled with loud, like, max volume jump scares. That's why they're scary, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm really happy that the directors and the writers are actually listening to the fans' feedback, and we're getting more scarier FNAF movies. And the last positive I have is that the animatronics are built insanely. Like, they're so good. Like, Jim Henson does a really good job with their animatronics. Like, I gotta give them that. The toy animatronics, the withered animatronics, they look so good in this movie. I just gotta give them credit where credit's due. But now, let's just start hating on the movie, guys. Now I'm gonna start with the writing of this movie. And I do remember saying that the opening scene is the best written scene in the movie, but the whole movie is written kinda trash. Like, the structure of the movie and the pacing especially, they're not good. Like, most of the pacing of the movie focuses on Vanessa's trauma and her trying to fight that in the entire movie, just for it to not lead up to anything by the end of the movie. Like, there's no point in it. I mean, it kinda works sometimes. Like, I guess there's one scene where it kind of does pay off, but it kind of doesn't too. And yeah, most of the movie is based on the human characters, which aren't terrible, because the FNAF movie are kind of based on humans as well. But yeah, they don't spend a lot of time on Mike, Abby. Heck, they don't even spend time on Garrett. And I thought they were trying to build on that for the second movie, but instead they only name drop Garrett one time, and that's basically the rest of the times he's ever mentioned. I don't think he's even going to be mentioned in the third movie. But yeah, the pacing and the structure, I said that, they're bad. And we don't even spend that much time with the animatronics until like half an hour into the movie, where they're actually important. But yeah, the writing is gotta be the worst part of the movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I guess I also gotta say that the acting and dialogue is also pretty bad. Like, the acting is decent, I'm not gonna lie to you, the acting is decent, but the dialogue writing is kind of bad. There's only like a couple good lines of dialogue in this movie, mainly from William Afton, but yeah, most of the other lines of dialogue are weak, and they don't sound convincing enough, and they're almost laughable. But hey, I don't hate it entirely. Like, I can get by it, don't get me wrong, I can get by it. Now, I want to talk about why critics hate the movie so much first, because again, I'm a FNAF fan, I don't hate it. But the main reason why the critics do not like this movie, just hear me out for a second, is because this movie has way too many references and cameos from the FNAF franchise that are typically left unexplained in the movie. Because this movie is merely just a fan service movie, and obviously I got all the references and cameos because I'm a good FNAF fan. But yes, most of the critics who didn't catch up with that lore probably did not get the movie at all. And yeah, that's a pretty fair reason for not liking the movie if you don't understand anything about the movie. And I think that's something the FNAF directors and writers can fix with the third movie, even though director Emma Tammy says she does not care about what the critics think, but only what the fans think, which I guess is a good mindset. But I think it's a hard sell for general audiences, because the second movie didn't really help, so the third movie won't be any better. But the first movie is pretty good with the general audience, because while the critics still don't like it that much. The critics say that the first movie is way better. And hey, I mean, yeah, if we're talking about writing and like lore and like have just like general audience stuff, the first movie is better. I like the second movie better, maybe because of recency bias, but mainly because I like the references. But yeah, now it's time for me to conclude this review. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the review. I'm gonna give this movie a 5 out of 10 just because I need to be as critical as I can on this movie. But yes, stay tuned for my fan review. It's gonna be unscripted, by the way, so it probably shouldn't take that long to edit. So hopefully it comes out by the weekend, because I really want to talk about this movie so much in a positive light, because I love this movie so much, and it might be one of my favorite movies of the year. But I can't talk about it like this if I'm also hating on it at the same time. So yeah, my fan review will probably be like 10 minutes long, and to be fair, it's just gonna be like a rant video, so it's not gonna be the best edited. But yeah, stay tuned for that, and thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.